Hello, and welcome to 5 for Friday for this Friday, January 27th. What's going on this week? Some quick highlights. Small businesses are doing great. Big tech is struggling. Technology and robots are taking on more jobs. And poor super rich people are getting super richer, but maybe not happier. Ready to get started? All right, here we go. We'll start with topic number 1. Small businesses looking up. Despite the headlines about tens of thousands of people being laid off, small businesses are actually still hiring. And it's small business growth that's driving the economy, which is somehow bad news for inflation? Economics is confusing. Anyway, small businesses are growing and new business applications continue to grow as well, which means more small businesses and more entrepreneurs. And the other good news, people are back attending trade shows and conferences and making those personal connections that can help with sales. Meanwhile, we should be all looking to offload some of our tasks to automation and AI, like chatbots that can handle customer service and content creation. Is your small business following this same path? Attending trade shows and assigning tasks to technology wherever possible? If not, you should be. All right, moving on, we're to story number 2, big tech battles. While small businesses are busy growing, the big tech firms are laying off, competing against each other, and dealing with antitrust lawsuits for their monopoly-like status. Right now, Google is defending its domination of the online marketing world to the US government. And at the same time, they're worried that their monopoly will be toppled by ChatGPT, with Microsoft as a key investor of that technology. Meanwhile, Microsoft is working to integrate ChatGPT into all of its tools and turning solar power to support energy, to create energy for all of this growth. Meanwhile, Apple is just staying out of it all, having managed to avoid any layoffs, likely due to their choice to not overhire during COVID like the other big tech firms did. Is all this disruption an opportunity for newer small tech firms to swoop in and take market share? Hard to say, but pay close attention to the startup world for future monopolistic big tech firms that are currently just in startup mode. And with that, let's move on to story number 3, cool new innovation and products. There were a handful that showed up in my news feed this week, including solar roof tiles that look like old-fashioned terracotta tiles, but can help in places like old towns in Italy by adding solar and maintaining the original look of the roof. Also, on the sustainability and climate change front, we've got a company repurposing toxic algae to turn it into a replacement for plastic, a company that helps homeowners get rid of waste they don't know what to do with, like batteries and light bulbs, and a new home composting system to deal with food waste. And then finally, inflatable factories that can be assembled and ready to manufacture in just days. Very interesting. And finally, my personal favorite, knit clothing with cool patterns that are specifically designed to ensure that AI facial recognition software can't identify you, even if your face is not covered. Are you feeling inspired and innovative yet? I hope so. All right, moving on to story number 4, robots taking on more jobs. What's the latest in robots this week? A housekeeping droid called, nope, not Rosie like in the Jetsons. This robot from the company Labrador is called Retriever. Get it? Labrador Retriever. Unlike your pet, this robot can carry food and laundry baskets to help out folks with mobility issues. And conveniently, it communicates with Amazon's Alexa and iRobot so that all of your housekeeping robots can share your private data with big tech. In other robot news, new knitting robots are making sneakers easy to manufacture in the US in low volumes with little labor. And Boston Dynamics has shared a video of their construction assistant robot that can not only assist humans with construction and other tasks, but has some pretty cool parkour skills too. Check out the video. I'll share the link in the YouTube comments for those who don't get the full newsletter. All right, so let's move on to our final story, story number 5, the problems of the super rich. First off, they are apparently just getting richer and richer. How does this happen? Well, one trend is stock buybacks, which have become hugely popular and help shareholders increase value and companies appear more profitable on paper. The richest 10% of Americans own over 80% of the stock market. And the rich are getting richer every day, cumulatively bringing their top 1% up by billions every day. So what's the problem, you ask? Well, if you're not quite rich enough for your own private jet and are forced to charter private planes, beware, there's a trend of illegal charters, meaning flights that don't follow FAA safety or use qualified pilots. I guess I'll stick to my cramped seat on a cheap airline. And the employees remaining at big tech firms like Google are finding that their free massage therapist access is gone, as those therapists have been laid off. Tough times. Who has it worst of all? Poor SBF of FTX fame, who spent a hellish week in a Caribbean prison. What made it so bad? The food? The showers? The lack of privacy? Nope, the poor tech bro had no internet access for a whole week. Now that is barbaric. Perhaps now you're feeling grateful that you only have regular problems and not all those rich person issues? Then my job is done. All right. Thanks for joining me today for this week's 5 for Friday. I hope you'll sign up to receive these videos directly from me or subscribe on YouTube so you can continue to hear about these signals of change that impact your small business. Happy Friday.